There are more Blitz YouTube channels aside from mine, and one of them is from a subscriber called Psychovadge. Let's have a little chat. And as said, welcome back Tankers of Blitz Universe to the channel. We have a special guest today called Psychovadge from the Vanguard clan. Welcome, Psycho.
Hi Martin, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. You sent me 3 games. You're the first one in a series actually where I'm gonna have a chat with other players who have YouTube channels on Blitz. And we have a bit of a theme today of tank destroyers.
Yeah, they're my favourite tanks. I've got my all-time favourite tank, which is the Jagdpanzer, the massively OP Helsing, and then the Russian dirt monster, the Su-152 for you.
Great stuff. And this one is your favourite, the Jagdpanzer? Jagdpanzer 4?
Yeah, I know, and do you know, so many people hate this tank.
Yeah,
you know, it's renowned for catching fire, but I think it's absolutely superb.
I can imagine that. It's like, it's a mini E25, it's like a medium but without a turret. The DPM, the gun, brilliant stuff.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's got over 3,000 DPM, and you know the closest one, the Churchill gun carrier, has only got about 2,400, and you've got them. I know. And you know, you see here the mobility of it. It's like, as you said yourself, it's like a medium. So yeah, you've got crazy DPM, medium maneuverability, yeah, and you do get the odd bounce too. Yeah,
and you have some really good traverse speeds as well. Bit unlucky with a shot on the VK. But what I liked about this game, you've sent me 3 obviously, I have watched them already. What I like is you being, well, let's say, stated mildly, quite aggressive with a non-turreted tank destroyer. And you do get the bounce from the Crusader, but I would have never pushed onto C-Cap like that. With 3 mediums, all reds, and a light tank. No way.
I think you're being very polite, Martin. I think what you're saying is I'm a bit of a YOLO warrior.
Yeah, that's one thing to describe it as well. But it does work out in the end. You are in trouble here. Say they have A and B. You have just captured C, but it's getting recaptured by the Sentinel.
Exactly, but I mean, look now how quickly we shred this Sentinel and the Stug, and we don't take any damage in return.
No, a lovely bounce from the Stug. There it is. Yeah, 330. And 330, is that the AP shell? Yeah, it has to be AP.
Yeah, 220 is the normal damage. I mean, I've been quite lucky, I'll admit, because neither of these guys...
Lucky, yes. Check this one out.
Well, check this shot out, Martin. What's this one?
That's a lovely little slingshot shot. Just at the end of your gun arc, basically, gun constraints, but it worked out just fine. Really good.
It is. I find with the Jagdpanzer, if you fire and then you do a little, you pull back, do a little jink, you get a load of bounces on the gun mantler.
Yeah, but that's the thickest part of the tank, really. Yeah, and I think I've done a review on it a while ago, and to be honest, I don't think it has any form of armor except that mantlet. But if you jiggle and juke it left and right, you get those little troll bounces on any angled plate, really.
You do, and they're the only bounces you get. I mean, if you look at the stats for it, the armour is so thin, but with a bit of wiggling, a bit of luck, using a little bit of gun discretion, you get bounces all the time. So,
and you gotta love a KV2 for shooting at someone else and they're missing, and then you know you have like 20 seconds to go in and try and shoot him. And you're a bit unlucky with this shot.
Yeah, but you know, I was lucky as well. So it's you know, it's a shame. It's like sharks circling though now. I was really hoping to get the 5th kill here, but you see, we almost reloaded and no.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually you're not running adrenaline on this one. It's a multi repair, a fire extinguisher, and a repair kit.
Yeah, do you know, that's my bad. I did used to, but I put the extra fire extinguisher on, which does help. Yeah. So yeah, I probably will put it back on actually.
Yeah, and anyway, this is a lovely little ace on the Jagdpanzer 4. We get the Helsing now. This game is, well, let's give it away. It's not going to be an ace game, far from it. But you've included this one for another reason. You have a Helsing guide already on your channel. I'll link in the description below. And you're going to put up another one in next week, hopefully, time permitting.
Yes, it's a 3-game guide, I can't stop playing the Helsing. It's nothing to do with the fact that it's completely OP, but it's got this raise knight, it's got a Heartbreaker, and it's got a Mastery in. So I did them all over about the last week or so.
And talking about Helsing, this is obviously the most strange-looking and completely fantasy tank in the game. I know you are a bit, you are a playing geek, no doubt about that. I'm a massive tank geek. Are you in the game because of the historical tanks that have been there? Because the SU-152, that's a historical tank. You have the Jagdpanzer IV, that's a historical tank. The Helsing is not, and you still say it's one of my favorite tanks.
Yeah, it's you know, there's no sense in it, I'm afraid. I hate, you know, things like Lupus, Edelweiss. The Helsing, I basically like playing because it's completely OP and crazily broken. But I just love historical tanks, and it comes from, you know, when I was a child going to the Battle of Bulge Museum and seeing you know, Marders, Hetzers, all this sort of thing, and you know, seeing Tiger IIs in market squares in Belgium and Holland and all this sort of thing. It was amazing. So yeah, I've loved them ever since.
But you are not a heavy type of player then, because you mentioned the Tiger II now. You're basically into tank destroyers. That's what ticks you off on at Blitz. Yeah,
I mean, I've played all the lines.
Oh,
I mean,
I love the blind shot.
Oh, you can't. Martin, there is an even better blind shot coming up. not this one.
I know. No, this one. That's. I love it how you track your own tanks.
Completely by accident. Watch this one now.
Oh, hello, Aiju. Can you stay still? Yes, thank you very much.
That's complete luck. I claim no credit for that.
Oh, and I like even more about this one. If you look at the damage, ladies and gentlemen, tanks of Blitz Universe, I'm sorry to say, it's like this one has to be one of the most cheap-ass Rosenias ever.
Yep, I know, it's a complete fluke. Look at the AMX trying to deny the last kill as well, but no cigar for him.
No. 2.4k damage, or say a 400 average per clip tank, and then you get the Rosenia. But hey yo.
But you know, Martin, I'll claim it.
Yeah, and you should. I mean, I've done games where I did like 5k damage and only 2 kills, but this one not even 2.5, but a well-deserved Rosenia because of pushing aggressively, getting the tank where you need it to be, like just proper gameplay.
I know, it's just luck, isn't it, most of the time?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of getting into the game, we talked earlier before getting this on. You downloaded it from the Norwegian App Store. What did you think of the game when you were starting it? I mean, there's a lot of stuff about changing it for new players, etc. What tips would you give to new players, and maybe even Wargaming for giving them new tips?
I think learn one line, one play style. I started off on the USTDs, and I played hundreds and hundreds of games on them. That's why if you look at my stats, if anyone's really interested, you'll see I've got hundreds. Most of my games are in the USTD line because when it first came out, I learned just to play that line.
And for new players, think about it as the E3 line. It wasn't the E4 line. That wasn't in the game back then.
Yeah, and it was I mean, the E3 line. It was one of the most solid lines. You know, T95 and all this sort of thing. So it was great fun. But that's what got me into the game. Really, was learning that.
And then the next lines you did were.
I think it was the German.
Still remember?
Yeah, I think it was the German line. I mean, this is actually going back 5 years now.
Yeah, that's a lot. 35k battles or something like that.
I know, it's very sad, isn't it? But you know, I work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, so I get a lot of time to play games. You know, when I'm not at work.
Yeah, and that would help too for people going to a channel. You mean you get like a massive influx and a load of videos to watch. And then you have like 2 weeks to recover, basically.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, to do all the jobs that my wife saved for me while I've been at work.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Right, you are wrapping up over here on the SU-152. Anything you want to say to the people here? We have about 50 seconds left, so...
This is not the greatest game in the world in the Su-152. I'd had a really bad run in the Death Star, and basically I was so annoyed with the game that I thought, right, stuff this. I'm going to get my Su-152, I'm going to load HE, I'm going to drive up to the Reds.
I'm going to put my YOLO cap on.
Exactly.
And
the Su-152 is the best tank for that.
Yeah. Derp life forever.
Look at this shot on the IS-3.
Oh, yeah, I love it. And it's that thing, I mean, you don't choose the derp life chooses you.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, Comrade Stalin decides if the shots go in, nobody else.
Definitely, yeah. And if you pay enough gold, etc., you know, RNG's guide your shell, it will hit anyway. For 4.1k damage, brilliant stuff in that regard. So thank you very much for sending it in, Psychovadge. Ladies and gentlemen, Tankers of Blitz Universe, remember to subscribe to his channel. He's at 88 at the moment and he deserves to get more. Definitely.
Thank you, Martin. Much appreciated.
You're very much welcome. If you want to be part of this series, do drop me a note on my Discord channel or on email and we'll sort things out. And for now, cheers, happy tanking. I'm Psychovadge. Good luck in the future and in Blitz.
Thanks, Martin.
Cheers. Bye-bye.